Hi folks, welcome to my channel. My name's Joe, if you didn't figure that out from the channel caption. And this video is going to be hopefully short because I don't really want to have to do a lot of work to this machine. But it's a maintenance issue. Fall here in New England, time to get all the fall and winter equipment ready. Most notably, my snowblower and my driveway or sidewalk sweeper. Snowblower not so much. The way winters have been going up here, the snow is not much and it's pretty heavy. Snowblowers don't like this really wet snow, but the sidewalk sweeper will do it. And that's what's behind me. If you look, it's a sweepster. It's called a sweepster. I think it's about 3 foot. Bought it at an auction years ago. Probably used it, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. It's been sitting under cover, but I haven't done anything to it. It's been, even though it's undercover, it's been outdoors, so the mice and chipmunks might have been in it. My biggest concern is I'll probably have to pull the carburetor off and clean it up or rebuild it. But that's where we are today. So if you like that kind of stuff, stick around. I'm gonna switch cameras here, front to back or whatever, doing this with just a phone, and I'll go over some of the detail of the items I'd like to catch on. So here we are. It could really use a good cleaning, if nothing else, but I'm not trying to restore it. I'm trying to use it. And previously I had already put in a new piece or a supporting piece under here because this was all beat up. It's still kind of beat up, but at least it's straight. But there are a couple dimples in here that are probably not noticeable from the camera. Got to clean out the brush. I think I'm going to replace the tires. The tires are a little bald, so that doesn't help. And because this was used in the summertime, they added, I don't think this is original, they added some kind of extra air cleaner, but I think I'm going to get rid of all that. Just go with the regular air cleaner since I'm only going to be using it in the snow. I had taken this all apart now that I remember it, because I think you could either run this straight or angled, and I chose to do angled. So we'll see just what happens here. You can see you can't even read what's on here, caution. And I'm sure these say run and choke and idle and such. I may or may not stick those back on. Be nice to know which one is fuel and which is choke, I guess. And finally, as you can see, this is a sweepster. And you can't really read that. I'm going to see if it'll focus on this. Oh, there we go. Come on, focus. It's a model C36 90335. I'll call it an 8. Empty, and CVW is also empty. So that's what I know about it. I may go online looking for stuff, but really the biggest thing is this is it's a 5 horsepower Briggs. So the items will be pretty easily found, I think. And there's something up here, 42201, but it's so covered in grease. Who knows what that was from? I'm assuming this is probably shut off. But since there's a switch up here, maybe the switch is hooked up. Well, no, the switch is not hooked up. The switch, the wire is right here. So I guess I'll probably be fixing that. And was I foolish enough to leave gas in it? Well, yeah, it's got gas. And it's stale. It is really stale. So I got my work cut out for me. So let me set up the tripod and go from there. I only have one wheel on this. It comes with 2 wheels. I only have one because of the way I do the snow work. This one ends up on the driveway where I've already swept, so it's at, quote, ground level. And the other side, of course, is plowing through the snow, so I took that one off. I don't really need it. So here we are. And I'll have to acquaint myself with what, for instance, like this bolt, whatever this bolt is. Oh, that's probably, to set the height for the wheel. So I'm just going to clean. I don't know how much I'm going to show you of the boring stuff. Probably cleaning, I might do time lapse. But getting the engine running, that may be real-time stuff. But we'll go from there. Boy, I didn't realize this thing was so dirty. I could, I suppose. Yeah, okay, we'll take a side trip here. I'm going to set up the pressure washer. So stand by. Have to get the air out of it. See, it just almost stopped there. It'll come back in a minute. Almost. I can still feel air in one of the pump cylinders. One of the pistons. Oh, there we go. Whoop. All right. The pressure washer didn't want to start, so it needed a little coaxing, and then only ran on like half choke. Gee, I wonder what that could be. Probably a dirty carburetor, all varnished up from this wonderful gas that we have these days. So I don't think you got to see too much of the pressure washing, but that's okay. I can cut it out, or by the time you see this, I will have cut it out. But it's significantly less greasy now. I can read the decals, and things aren't all totally slimy. Yeah, they're a little slimy, but not too bad. So I think the next thing to do is clean out the brush, the auger. I don't remember how it comes out, so I may not take it out, but we'll see. So stand by for that. All right, I've got it up in the air. I'm going to start cleaning some leaves out and seeing how bad the brush is. I'm going to try to turn the brush straight. Let's try to get some of the built up grease and grime from underneath that cover. Well, one pin and one nut and bolt, and you can take the front off. So now I guess I can clean it. Well, I guess I have some troubles there. It won't turn, and that's because on the left-hand side from here, the chain has an idler, and it's off of the idler. So I'm probably going to take off this cover. Two bolts anyway, and see if I can straighten that out so I can turn this thing. As it is with most of my projects, I end up doing a lot more than I ever thought I was going to something. Clearly I didn't do as much work to this as I thought to straighten it out. So here I am. I guess the video won't be as short as I had thought. The tolerances are pretty tight in there with the, well, let's see if I can drag you over there somehow without making too much of a mess. So what I have is here's the drive up here. It goes to a chain here, and then there's this idler right here. And the problem is there is so little clearance that when this chain came off this idler, boy, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see that, it's all in the shadow. Let's see, kick this around for a minute, get you some sun. Oh, that might do it. All right, so let's start over again. The problem I had is here's the drive. Drives a little sprocket down to big sprocket, which is the brush. And then there's an idler in here, spring-loaded. And the problem is if this chain jumps off, which it did, to press down on this idler runs it into the big sprocket. So you have to really fight with it. I was looking to see if there was a way to loosen up one of these bearings, but I don't see it. I tried to loosen up the idler. That didn't work too well. But I got it back on. I just don't know how well it's going to turn. Seems like it's going to be better. Let's put you back in the holster here. Oh yeah, it turns good now. Well, something happened. The chain must have been caught someplace else because now the idler is way out. Okay, well now I've got to take the yellow cover off because the nut that bolt goes to is rotating. So stand by. Okay, cover is off. And I hadn't planned on doing it, but I was wondering how I was going to get to the cover to straighten out some of the dents in it. So now that it's off, I'm going to go grab a rubber hammer and try to beat out those dents. Alright, so I'm going to beat on that again. Remembering that I'm just trying to make it look a little better, get rid of the dents so the brush doesn't keep hitting it. The good thing is that it came apart easier than I thought it was going to. The bad thing is that I had to take it this far apart. Well, I'm sure I could spend a couple hours with a body hammer and tools, but that's a whole lot better, and it's certainly good enough for what I'm using it for. So now I'm going to straighten out the chain and idler, which you can still see. Okay, I'm going to hunt for a stronger spring for that idler because I think the chain probably jumped. Okay, so that piece is all put back together. I think you can see the dimples in it now, but that's nothing compared to what it was caved in before. I put a much heavier spring on that guy, if you can see him. The idler is underneath. So I was getting ready to put this back together, which for now I'm just going to stick it in this one pin, and was wondering whether or not I should change the belt. The belt actually looks pretty good, but I found a couple of grease fittings, one there and one in there. So I have to grease those, which is good. But down here, this guy is also off the idler. So I don't know what's going on here. What the heck happened? And the idler is nowhere near in position for where it should be. And I know it was probably monkeyed around with because I see in the back a double nutted shaft or bolt without a spacer. And even more importantly, each of these shafts, this one, and this one, all have 2 pulleys for either a high and low range or forward and reverse. It looks more like it was high and low, but that's not how we're using it. It is weird that it's there. It's currently on high speed, it looks like, and I think I'm going to just leave it that way. But before I push them back together, well, maybe I'll push them back together first, because that'll bring the back end up a little better, and I can still get to this guy. Those bearings don't sound too great, but I'm not changing them for the little bit that I use it. It hasn't caused me problems yet. So, however, I don't know where that's hitting. Boy, that sounds terrible. Well, that probably feeds the gearbox underneath. Huh, I guess I'm going to have to look at that. I don't ever remember it being a problem, but I guess now would be the time to look at it. All right. I'll bring you back when I know what I'm doing. Okay. Well, I tipped this thing up. Looked underneath, there's a bunch of gears. And a couple of the shafts are covered with white PVC pipe, so I think I'm going to ignore that. The wheels turn freely, and the noise that I hear is the belt dragging. I took the belt off and it sounds fine, and since this thing is not terribly high speed and it's free, I'm just going to ignore it. So yep, I'm going to try to buckle this thing together. Well, I don't want to jinx myself, but this has been going pretty well so far. Of course, I haven't started the motor or tried, so we'll see. Next is to straighten out that idler. I got the main pin in so that the sweeper is hooked up to the engine. Grease up the 2 grease fittings I saw. And yeah, I'll take that back piece apart and figure out what to do with that idler. Alright, I got a little out of sequence here, so might be a little disjointed. My camera shut off is what happened. So we were at the point that the front is put on with the pin. I've greased it, checked the shivs underneath, figured out that in fact this idler system has 2 independent shivs on it, or idlers, if you want to call them that. One turns separate from the other. Why it had 2 belts, I don't know. I might go online and try to find the owner's manual for this. But the fact of the matter is I'm only going to use it on 1 speed. But it looked funny, and the reason being is it was held on here with a 3/8 bolt and a bunch of washers, yet the hole in it is 1/2 inch, or 0.535 I think I measured. So call it a 1/2 inch. So all they did was put a bunch of washers around the 3/8, which of course made this thing sloppy. So I just inside turned a brass bushing to go from the 3/8 to 1/2 inch. And I'm going to try to set that up now and and put that together for you. So hopefully that gets you closer to the action. Let's see what I did with everything. Oh, I have more stuff in my pocket. Now let's see how much I can bounce you around. So that's the brass bushing I made. I'm assuming that you can see that. It actually came out from the back end of an electric chainsaw, old corded chainsaw. So I turned it down on the lathe. It was about 580, so now it's down to 518, 515. And it fits pretty good. So that's all right. But the question is that the spot we want it is out there? And I'm actually thinking it is. So what we want to do is put a couple of 1/2-inch washers on the back, maybe 3. It looks like a thin one. And I have my stack of 1/2-inch washers here. So I need something fairly thin. I think I'm going to try that one. Ooh, that's awful big. But we'll see. Put that on, that on, that on. Oh, that looks good. So now I'm using a new bolt because the bolt that was in there was pretty well beat up from being installed incorrectly, so to speak. So now, if I do that, like that, I can try to tighten this up and see if it lines up pretty good. It looks like it from here. Except the nut that was on there is giving me some grief. We'll give it some grief back, I guess. I'm going to use what was on there before. It was double nutted and the second nut was actually a nylock. So talk about redundant. And we'll do the same thing, why not? I don't know why these threads are so hard. I thought I checked this nut inside. And yes, I could get my cordless drill and socket set. I guess I'm old school that way. Well, I don't think you could ask for much better than that. I'm going to tighten that up just a hair more. I don't think it's going to tighten too much. but there we go. It does twist just a little, but it's a whole lot better than it was. So we're going to consider that good enough. My uncle, I don't think he's the original on it. He used to say good enough never is. In this case, I guess I should say this is fine. This will work just perfectly. So now I'm cranking the nylock on. Well, that's got a ways to go. Getting close. Oh, there we go. Don't need the blocks under the back anymore. So now, I'm down to, I should probably check the gear oil in this gear case. And then I guess it's the engine. And I think that's going to be another day. It's getting close to 4 o'clock. I had enough for today. Looks like I have to raise the front up a little. I think I'm going to try to find the owner's manual and see if they talk about how to check this. I think I have to raise the front up a little level and then open this up to see if it's at the right level. Looks like that's an Allen, and that's probably a 1/4 inch open end. It's a square. I didn't start with the engine because the last time I used it, it worked fine, so I know it won't take a lot to get it going. I suppose I should have checked the engine first to make sure that I don't have to replace an engine on this, but I don't think I will. So I think we'll leave you right there. I might try to find the tools and check this, but I think I'm going to go inside and see if I can find the owner's manual. So we'll come back tomorrow morning. Okay, day 2, or certainly a new day. And this is more for me than you. What did I do? Well, cleaned out a few leaves, but more importantly, so far, we took out the major dings and bumps in the shell, fixed the chain idler on the front, pressure washed most of it, although it didn't come out great. greased the U-joint on this thing, fixed the arm that holds the idler for the belt. Wow, is that it? I think that was it. Whew, that took a while. So now it's we're working our way closer to the engine, and I think now is we're going to look at this guy, which is the gearbox. I think that's next. We'll check the gearbox for oil or grease, oil probably, and work our way around. We're nearing the home stretch, I hope, but we'll see. So here we have probably a fitting that hasn't been moved in decades. So even if it is, it's gear oil. Oh, and it's full. Wow, something I don't have to repair. That's good. Well, what comes next? We can change the oil. Fix this duct taped air cleaner. I was going to take it off, but I found that on similar models, this was a C36, on the C36TW manual, which is a newer version, I guess, they had something very similar. So I don't know just what I'm going to do with it, but it's definitely going to get changed somehow. Just don't know how yet. Probably want to start it before I change the oil. And tires will be after I make sure that it actually runs. Hi guys. Well, it's a Sunday morning. I was editing 3+ hours of Sweepster. And I thought this was going to be a quick, short, half-hour video. Oh, clean the carburetor a little bit, put it back on, and be all set. Boy, was I wrong about that. The 3 hours doesn't even include all the machining I did to make the brass bushing that you saw me put in on the idler arm. It doesn't include going to go get PVC fittings to make the snorkel, which you will see in the next part, and the machining of those to make those fit the aluminum tubing that I have. Doesn't include some other little items. Calendar-wise, it's been like 3+ weeks. I had to wait 6 days for the tires, 2 days for the, which you don't know that yet, 2 days for the ignition coil, which you will see soon, and a couple of days for the carburetor, which you'll see soon. It's been quite an eye-opener. I really thought when I put this away there wasn't much that needed to be done. So I got to this point where I'm just starting on the engine, and I'm at like 40 minutes of edited movie out of the 3+ hours I had for everything. So I'm going to split this. I fully expect it's going to take another 40 minutes worth of video to go over the engine and engine related items. And so I hope you can stick it out. It's an eye opener for me. I have so many pieces of equipment that over the years apparently I've let go, and now that I'm retired, I can actually spend some time on this stuff. Everything I do from here on, well, for part 2, is engine related. I'm done with the sweeper part, the chains, the pulleys or shivs and all that. Well, except for the tires. Oh, that was a trick in itself. I'll get into that when we get to tires, but I probably spent over 2 hours trying to disassemble these split rim wheels and put new tires on it. So there's a lot of time into this, but we're actually back to where it's a reasonably functional machine. So thanks for watching up till now. I hope you stick around for part 2. I'd say I hope you stuck around for all this, but if you're here, you clearly did. Like, subscribe, share, comment, dislike. It's fun to see the interaction with people that watch it, but it really it's just for me to clear my mind and get something documented, so I can always go back to these videos on my computer and see what I did and when I did it. So you guys have a good day. The second part will be out rather shortly because, of course, it's all edited. I mean, it's all videotaped. I just have to edit it. So probably in a few days will be out part 2. So again, thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next part of all this.